Hey gamers! This is kind of the most overwhelmed I can remember being in my entire life. There's a lot going on today. So, whew. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Even just like starting up OBS and like getting to talk about this openly, it makes this feel real in a way that having the game out didn't. That's weird, right? But one of the things that I've been looking forward to most is just kicking back in my fucking chair and talking with people about video games. So let's, like, talk with people about video games. So I'm on a fresh file, no developer cheats this time around. $30 fucking from Zenkuri, thank you very much. It does feel like a happy release. It's been wild, it's been very chaotic. We very nearly bungled some of the initial upload process, and Eidolon is still hard at work fixing up the flat pack. I believe Steel's working on the AUR stuff. But, I mean, clearly some people here are playing. I've heard most people seem to be... They seem to get what's going on here. There are some pain points. A lot of them are the things that we expected to be pain points, and my hope is that they're temporary. But I'm just feeling excited, man. Also, when it comes to level design, I am not a level designer or a graphics person. None of that was me. I actually did almost zero work on the tutorial. If I very quickly go into, like, controls, that line at the top of the screen is the only work I ever did on tutorials, besides, like, providing some feedback on the typography and contrast on the dialogue boxes. Oh yeah, I've got some replays. So, I kind of feel like I just want to play single player for a bit. So I'm gonna do that. Anybody have character preference? My maid isn't unlocked here yet. And, we'll talk about her, I'm sure, but... I'm one of those boring middle stat people. 2 votes for metal. 1 vote for... You know, Mascot Man is tempting. Mascot Man feels appropriate at the moment. And bottom left is like one of those stat blocks that I really greatly enjoyed in V1 despite them like struggling a lot. Alright, I see a lot of metal. Let's play some metal. It's been very interesting seeing people react to Position. Position is one of those things that, like, was incredibly divisive when it was revealed, and then on release has mainly just been like... I'm gonna turn this down a little bit for myself, and then... Oh yeah, this is my music. That's weird, right? That feels emotionally weird for me. It's one of those things that I think very quickly faded into the background for people who actually got their hands on the game early, and for the most part it seems like the reception has been similar among people who are, like, playing it now. Robotnik! Yeah, tutorial isekai POV. I really like a lot of the writing in the tutorial. We all knew that the tutorial was going to be, like, the pain point. I don't know what I'm doing on that turn. I'm just fucking getting a feel for Metal's handling again. We all knew that the tutorial was going to be a massively divisive pain point. And, like, probably in a couple days, I will publicly release the codes for skipping a couple aspects of early game progression. We really did not want people's experience to be jumping into online immediately because one of the biggest issues with V1 adoption was people jumping into online immediately and, like, leaving the game forever on that basis. I felt very strongly about that, because that happened to someone I care about a lot. I couldn't get Frey into V1 because the online learning curve was just too rough and there was basically nothing else there. How about that new slip tiding, by the way? Woohoo! Sonic's right on my ass, though. So yeah, I think everybody knew that the tutorial was going to be super divisive, and with that in mind, I feel like everyone did amazingly on, like, the flavor and friendliness of it. Definitely, like, we put a lot of fucking super casual, like, non-gamers through it, and identified some pain points, and which of them were going to be long-term blockers and which weren't, and surprisingly, the SPB section only needed, like, a tweak or two for all of the people who basically don't play video games to figure it out. Yeah, the tutorial is mad long. A lot of it is, like, because it was an environment solely built for the tutorial, it became difficult to resculpt once the layout had been sketched out. And so there are some things about it that are unfortunately a little bit inflexible. There's one section in particular where you're, like, counter-accelerating against the wall springs that's, like... That section probably could have just been, like, rebuilt if we had had, like, the time and resources, because it was kind of intended to teach a skill that, like, manifested in the final game differently than when that area was designed. Yeah, that fucking part. I'm glad that most people seem to have made it through, but, ugh. It's a tough one. Again, the intent is never to, like, force people to go through the tutorial again on, like, alternate PCs or anything. And, like, V1 did well enough for itself with regards to onboarding if you had a friend at your side willing to explain shit to you. So, like, once there's an install base of people who are willing to, like, fucking help their friends get to grips with the game in an accelerated way, we'll release the progression skip passwords so that people can, like, more easily jump in with their friends. Because obviously if you're playing with your friends, like, you got a learning resource available right there, and hopefully stuff like being able to fill races with bots of an arbitrary skill will help out a lot as well. Yeah, that fucking, the wall spring section is absolutely, like, all technique, very little finesse, where it's like, if you know what you're doing, it's easy, and then if you don't, it can feel impossible in a way that is a little bit misleading. And people were able to make it through, for sure. We actually tested with a ton of different people from different, like, levels of racing game and gaming in general background. Oh, this fucking asshole's here again. Alright. Whoa, the fucking spiral! Alright, can I think I might need to burn to 0 to make this work. Okay, nah, Eggman's pretty far off. We're all good. Very low ring bonus for that round, but we made it. The Insta-Whip is another example of, like, something where it's very important to battle, and it's very important to the tutorial, but it's not actually that important to race. And definitely, like, that was the most clearly identifiable pain point, is 2 functions on 1 button. And, like, whether people were gonna figure that out. And in all the streams that we've watched, and in all of the tester footage that we gathered, which was kind of, like, an obsessive amount, to be perfectly honest. We had one of the developers' moms fucking play, who's, like, extremely a non-gamer. It worked out, but it did definitely take people varying amounts of time. Tally was unskippable offline until, like, a couple weeks before release, by the way. That was me, and it cost, like, an entire fucking class of bugs that is just, like, ridiculous to talk about. Dude, instant insta-whip as, like, a gameplay draft was, like... If any version of that had made it into the game... So, insta-whip's wild, right? Because it seems kind of strange that it would be on a charge input, but there's a pretty clear through line to how that happened, which is that it used to not be. Check this out, by the way. I don't know if this is, like, actually clean on this stat block or not, but... Yeah, it's like... I think I'm just meant to fucking approach that from a completely different angle. MK does that in the Staff Ghost. I also had a Staff Ghost assigned to me for Panic City, but I decided not to do that and take the right path instead. Yeah, there's so many VTubers playing this. What the fuck is going on, huh? It's like, where are they making them? It's really cool to see people coming out in support of this. It's been, like, really gratifying to see people's first reactions to a couple things in particular. Oh yeah, in case it wasn't obvious, I'm still on the first cup of the game, but this is going to contain spoilers for basically everything that I feel comfortable talking about. There are a couple things that Dev has agreed to, like, not talk about no matter what, but, there are a few things that are relegated to spoiler channels in a lot of the official discussion places that I will be talking about openly here. So, if that ain't your thing, then, like, please enjoy the game, and I will, like, see you at a later date. Low ring bonus again. It's because this fucking guy is constantly here. Somebody get him out of here. One of the big things that was an issue in early testing... Frey, are you here? Freya Day, I fucking love you. Thank you for putting up with the shit we put you through in testing. Thank you for recording, like, a fucking snap impression first run Staff Ghost for every course in the game to sandbag for medal times. You're already playing online? Oh my god, how are you? How are you doing out there? You've described it as failing, but I doubt you're failing that badly. It started to feel real when we kind of rolled up to some West Coast servers as, like, a 5 or 6 man stack of developers, and it's like, we're consistently winning. We're all consistently winning because we know the game very well, but other people get to play. We get to fight other people because the catch-up mechanics, like, work well enough for us to get, like, player interaction opportunities without, like, flattening the skill gradient in a way that's, like, frustrating. Whoop! Okay, all good. Yeah! It's useful in a pinch. The reason Insta-Whip requires you to burn to 0 instead of being on another fucking function is, like, for starters, we've already kind of got too many buttons in this thing. That's, like, that's another thing associated with the learning wall that is, like, people are just gonna have to get over it, and, like, my sincere hope is that we've made a game that's, like, appealing and, like, exciting enough that people are willing to get over that initial hump. But the other reason is that, like, we've always wanted to have, like, some sort of last-ditch option for, like, players in high positions to defend in a high-risk way. Where it's like, if you know you have a beat on somebody, you can defend your position no matter what bullshit is happening to you, but you have to know. And that's why it requires you to give up everything to use it effectively. Who's that Trailblazer SRB2 guy? Certainly not that asshole who recorded a fucking Ghost 3 seconds faster than all the dev times in Test Track. Get the fuck out of here, man. Shoutouts to all of the fucking testers who not only, like, fucking sat through this game when it was developmentally at its worst, but also, like, were an enormous help in tracking down bugs and, like, recording Staff Ghosts. Non-charge whip was really rough because it was difficult to use intentionally. If you picked up a single ring, you'd lose the opportunity. And we had to give it a kind of weirdly awkward system of cooldowns and whiff punish opportunities, because, like, the ability for someone to burn to 0 rings and then attack you with a strong option at speed felt too strong. It felt like it needed, like, some opportunity for opponent preparation. And that was, like, really bad. That was not super healthy for the game, because it put a lot of power into something that was, like, mechanically unreliable. So now we have the charge form, which broadcasts your intent a lot more clearly. You don't get it by accident when you think you have rings and don't. So it's, like, more legible for both sides of the interaction. And because holding the charge blocks picking up rings or items, you can fully commit to the attack without having, like, circumstances on the track mess you up, which was a major issue in some early iterations of it. Insta-whip is, like, in a large way my mechanic. Oni and I collaborated on a lot of things that I ended up feeling are, like, pretty important to the final vision of the game at high levels, and that was one of them for sure. It was really exciting to figure it out because we had all of the pieces required to do the behavior that, like, ended up working better in the end, and it was just... It kind of relied on everybody having that behavior rattle around in their brain for a bit to figure it out. I expected some people to make comparisons to the original Riders. And that fills me with some fucking emotions. Mostly good, but always complex, you know? Because Riders is a game that, like, got a really rough critical reception because of a steep learning curve, mechanics that felt more punishing than people felt they needed to be, and, like, stuff of that nature. Ooh, that line is tough at this fucking handling. Way easier as top left. And so it's like, obviously that game and, like, games that are made in that style are deeply meaningful to me. So it means a lot to me to hear people making that kind of comparison, but it also, like... It is a kind of game, to be sure. We've made something hyper-maximalist, and I think that among people who were expecting a straightforward sequel, it has been pretty deeply polarizing. And I think people will warm up. The people who are receptive to this kind of stuff are gonna have a chance to, like, step away from the craziness of the release window, play things at their own pace. Maybe they'll use the progression skip codes as we release those, and that's fine. Maybe it's a better experience to learn with a friend than with the tutorial. And that's like... Your friends know you better than we do, the fuck? Of course it's gonna be, you know? What I wanted for this game's, like, final design more than anything was something that I felt like I could play forever. And having existed in, like, a locked version of the game for a while, we recorded Staff Ghosts some time ago, I would say. Not ages ago, but long enough that I've had the opportunity to look at a few small things about the way that Race is designed and go, I feel like I could have approached some of this slightly differently. There are definitely some small tuning mistakes or tweaks that I want to approach, like, on an individual basis, because it's kind of like a pride thing. With some amount of warm-up, I suddenly became #1. You're figuring it out! Dude, so many of the strongest players on Dev were like, oh, I suck at this game so badly, I don't understand how to catch up. And then we play with them in net games, and they'd, like, consistently place top quarter. And it's like, what are you talking about? You have literally always been strong. Yeah, so about 6 weeks of the game being locked, in the sense that, like, we arrived at final balance, and I could no longer, like, make any further tuning adjustments. Max ring bonus for that one. Alright, last call for big spoilers. Speak now or forever hold your peace. This is something that we held very close to our chests for a while. It took so long for this to come together on a gameplay level, and I'm really excited that people are gonna finally be able to see it. Oh shit, I'm bouncing around like crazy. I'm getting a little jittery. We wanted to hide something in GP for people who felt like the stock difficulty curve was not enough. And I felt really strongly about being a part of it, which is why I dusted off the M8 and I gave it my best on the music side. I worked a little bit on the mechanics of this as well, but in particular, a couple difficulty tweak things were like pretty central to the experience that got applied fairly late. But the contribution that I feel most strongly in this is the music, and it's been really gratifying to hear people like get their first reaction to this stuff. Cherub slid this song in at the very last moment, and it fits so well with the vibe. I can't fucking believe people as talented as the ones on our dev team care enough about my work to fucking give it new life in that way. I'm gonna try really hard not to, like, get super sappy or emotional, but it does feel like a big breath out to finally be able to show this to the world. It's been a really chaotic release period, but it feels like coming home to you guys, you know? It really does. Fuck! Fuck! God damn it! So yeah. Also, calling this world's best was not even my credit idea. I didn't do that. I don't know how to let it go properly. I don't know if I can bring my defenses down enough to just, like, be 100% emotionally honest with y'all, but, like, you know what's going on, right? You get it? And I got a lot of personal shit tied up in my prior music work as well. If you know, you know. And I know some of you know. So it's really personally gratifying to finally get to, like, showcase this in a way where, like, I feel like I've done the required personal and creative growth to put myself out there like this. We're gonna clean the glasses. Alright, what am I gonna click on? Don't link the Gunstar Heroes ending! What the fuck are you doing, you asshole? Okay, so, Sealed Stars, entering those is good overall cup performance. It's not a single metric, but I will say that the ending tally screen is very honest with you about how your performance is broken down, and that you should be looking for a, like, really strong and clean overall cup finish to see those. It doesn't have to be super clean. It's like, you can continue a couple times, you can beef a couple races, you can come low on ring bonus, but, like, you want to keep most of those categories high, and it'll let you in. Man, the funniest thing has been seeing people, like, scroll over the challenge board after they finish the tutorial and go, wait, what the fuck is this? Oh no. Yeah, that guy can go somewhere else. I'm good. So, like, I think every single person who has gotten to this screen has had, like, the 15 to 30 second what the fuck, where they don't even understand what they're looking at, followed by the pieces getting put into place. And that has been really fucking funny to watch, because it is actually the same reaction every time. Mad funny. Hey, hold on, I do have, that'll work. We'll release the progression skip passwords soon enough. Doesn't really surprise me that people, like, got into the file super early and decided to play it their way. Like, the hashed passwords, for the most part, were really just to prevent people from, like, fucking with the first-time experience of people who, like, wanted to go through things unassisted. Because we saw a lot of people get really weirdly pushy around, like, V1 release. A lot of people have the idea that it's, like, some super morally opinionated thing, but it's literally just pragmatic. And after release has, like, relaxed a little bit, we'll give out the progression skippers. Because, like, I've always personally taken, like, I want to play quickly with my friends pretty seriously. That's, like, a real thing. And if you've got a friend who you can, like, trust to show you the game, that friend can teach you things. We have all learned rough games with, like, poor or missing conveyance because a friend is like, no, just trust me, I'll help you. Too many of us have had an FGC experience like that to discount what it means. Oh yeah, and follower horns. Fucking, as long as you got somebody in your look back radius, give you a little noise. Wanted to bring a little bit of that spirit to the game without, like, replicating the total fucking madness that my horrible creation ended up being. I think I should be taking the side path there, but I always like to fucking consider the idea that I can just get enough speed raw. That was a pretty rough corner. Rough! I don't play any metal, dude. You guys picked the fucking worst stat block for me. DI forward? Okay, this will be second. Dang. Rival bots are real sticky, man. The tuning of the, oh yeah, my internal server name is still Big Fucking Boingo. Holy Jesus, Logan, what the fuck? Why'd you do that? Okay, please enjoy these complete nonsense notifications for the next 50 years, because I never figured out how to set up a batch notification for it. Thank you, Chief. That's real big. I'm glad to see people as excited about this as I am. What do you mean, DI forward? Oh yeah! People don't know! That reaction just kept happening over and over again as things got closer to release. It's just, oh shit, they don't know about X, they don't know about Y. That's mad funny. Yeah, so you've got a little bit of influence over your trajectory when you take a hit. It's based on the direction you're holding when you exit hit lag. Jesus, Logan, I really appreciate you, dude, but I might have to shut that off. That's a little bit too wild. I just fucked up. I gotta set that up better for myself. Next, you're gonna tell me there's Roman cancels? Not quite. There were a couple shit posts about it when we were, like, in the wild and crazy bullshit phase of designing battle. Yeah, like that hit, straightforward. Stormrig was a particularly, like, thorny thing to balance in single player. I think it's still a bit of an unexpected spike, but it's like one that feels manageable, and it like makes sense that the bots would be strong here because like weak players are strong here. A lot of the conversations we had in dev about like whether something was too much of a horse race in GP was immediately and swiftly met with like, is this a horse race in net games against human players? And like, Stormrig was the absolute center of that, overwhelmingly. Can I DI into the fucking? Not quite. If I had been a little bit more present, I might have gotten a rightward bounce and snuck my way in. Ha! Yeah, Metal's turning radius is some brutal shit sometimes. I was hoping for that super high velocity contact, but it's a tricky item to aim kind of by design because it's like... I mean, it's a forward throw tumble item. It's like, it's serious. Went for that shot and nearly got it. Oh, but I missed the panel though. Here he comes! Yeah, I had to burn for that. That's rough. Yeah, a way to just skip the tutorial, please. We'll release the progression skip passwords in a couple days, most likely. You can, in fact, just turn around at the start of the tutorial, but that's intentionally kind of limited to people who know the mechanics very well. The tutorial was always going to be pretty divisive, because, like, ultimately, it is a long-ass tutorial, and there is a lot to fucking cover. And that's something that I think everybody on the team, like, got. Dang, there's a lot of you. That's, like, crazy. Hey, Foss and Chris, can I give you guys swords real quick? I don't want to tab out every 3 seconds. How the fuck do you promote people in the new UI anyway? That's mad confusing. Yeah, fair and good idea as well. I'd offer, but I'm about to lose signal in a tunnel. Where are you right now? Where have you been? Yeah, it's like, we read the Discord. Obviously, like, this is a hyper-maximalist fucked up nightmare game in a lot of ways, and it demands a lot from players up front. And my hope is that, like, the game gives people enough upfront reasons to, like, stick through that. But it was ultimately something that nobody was willing to compromise on. And, like, goddamn, also, people are just gonna, like, relax a little bit after the initial release window. There's a more elegant shot you can do there, but it is fucking beyond me. Hey, L-Dog. Oh yeah, you're flying around all the time lately, Twill, huh? Hello, L-Dog, it's 2018 again. Return of Jartcast. Maybe. Haha, just kidding, unless... Yeah, it's wild because, like, the game's existing community has very much subsisted based on, like, alright, we're gonna take this promising foundation, turn it into exactly what we like and nothing that we don't, and then, like, work exclusively within that framing for kind of a very fucking long time. Like, it feels weird how long SRB2 Kart has been out. And obviously, like, it's not going anywhere. There's a weird amount of people drive-bying the Discord like, so what happens to Kart? Are they just gonna take it down? It's like, no, it's more work for me to remove the master server. You guys have fun. In a lot of ways, SRB2 Kart represents stuff that the community has made together. of course you're gonna prefer it in some ways. You fucking made it. And that's cool. Like, I was a part of that too, and a lot of the ideas that I, like, first put together and started refining in V1 made it to Ring Racers in some form or another. Snuck by. All I can say regarding the tutorial, if you're currently getting filtered, is to, like, take a breath, because everything is tuned pretty easy. Get some rest, read close, you'll get it. I am completely fucking out of water. Stand by. Hey, it would help if you took the fucking cup with you, idiot. Yeah, AutoExcel is... That was the way that Toaster wanted to implement it, and I don't actually use the version that's in HostMod very much anymore. Like, that was initially implemented to save me the trouble of, like, using a failing accelerator button on a shitty controller, not because I was particularly attached to the playstyle necessarily. So Kickstart is very much tuned the way that Toaster found it comfortable to use as an accessibility concern, but there's definitely room for, like, more modular implementations of that down the line. That's, like, accessibility is one of those things that the work is never gonna really be done. I see, like, the type of insane shit that people do in games like the new Forza Motorsport, where it's like, oh, we're getting fucking directional pitch-based audio cues for how far away you are from the edges of the track, so that you can play when you're completely fucking blind. Like, I'll admit I'm kind of a Philistine when it comes to that stuff. I didn't even know that was possible. Ow. Lots of real bastards, Bubble Shield. Oh, I see those fucking... I gotta shoot that out. I'm not fucking with that. Get out of here. Autumn Ring was another one of those courses that's, like, because of its position in the cup and because it's largely enclosed spaces, it was a bot problem for a while. Because, like, spoiler alert, bots don't actually drive like humans drive. They're not fantastic drivers, and we make some concessions to the way they have to, like, interpret the course and handle their carts so that they're, like, engaging opponents. These tiny-ass Orbinauts, get the fuck out of here. What was I fucking talking about? Hold on, I gotta get this fucking asshole off my goddamn bumper first. Alright, we're out of danger. So yeah, a lot of the work on bots that happened relatively late in development was just making sure that, like, the way they gain speed is kind of in the same patterns that players gain speed. Which was obviously pretty difficult. Tethering was, like, the biggest offender for a long time, because bots don't drift. They take corners head-on. We give them a little bit of assistance for that, and that means that they were way better at maintaining tethers on long corners than human players typically are. And that led to a really rough effect where, like, weak bots would bumper ride strong. I'm so fucked. I made a terrible mistake. Weak bots would bumper ride strong bots, and the entire pack would become, like, unstoppably fast. And that's difficult. We ended up putting some pretty ham-handed tethering restrictions on bots in the final game to make sure that even if the way they acquire tether isn't quite the same as human players on corners, ultimately they typically gain speed in the same places. And that helped a lot with the discrepancies. I fucking knew that you would appreciate Insta-Whip. It was funny to have, like, that mechanic almost completely done, and then start seeing similar things show up in V1 Lua. Some pretty interesting takes on it, too. Probably takes that are better suited to, like, the modern environments that people were playing in. Because, like, the foundation of it is that people want agency. People just want to know what the fuck is going on. One of the blue balls actually doing the special stages. They're just a base speed increase. In battle, they have some other applications, which I think people are going to figure out over time. One of my big regrets is that battle received development changes so late that there was never an opportunity for a proper battle tutorial, and that is something that I'd like to do as an optional advanced tutorial sometime in post-release. Woo! Those fucking speed multiply shots never really stop feeling good to me. The music you made is great, question mark. Thank you, question mark. Yeah, the reason you didn't know that I composed is because I fucking don't. It's been a decade since I've done any sort of published music, and, like, a couple of things that I was noodling around with on a new piece of gear got way more in-depth attention than I expected. And it was in that environment that I was finally like, you know what, maybe I can do this. I've got, like, a lot of stupid psychological bullshit tied up in, like, my prior work. But maybe this is the right time. And I think the places where my work appears are, like, pretty meaningful to me. Wuthering Chateau is fucking pretty, isn't it? Oh, God! Interesting trap decision. Alright, I'll try to go for a long tether here. Maybe I should have been going for it off Eggman instead. Ringbox is something that I'm mainly responsible for tuning, and I think it's my favorite mechanical addition to the game. And the reason is, like, potentially a little bit non-obvious, so I'll talk about it a bit. Fucking, Ringbox actually exists for the benefit of large player count net games. And that's, like, kind of weird. But I think people who think about it in that lens for a bit are gonna, like, have it click for them. Because the idea is that you need catch-up in these large player count net games especially, but, like, having attack items attached to every player creates kind of unavoidable, like, reverse pack magnetism situations, the crab bucket type thing. And so specifically in situations where it was way too fucking chaotic, we wanted to tone down the presence of attack items by forcing people to make choices between attacking and speed. Thanks, Lyra. There we go. Ah, I missed it. I'll go for a sneaker panel stack here. That's way too fast. What do we fucking cook? I'm actually... This is still probably clearable. Straight over. Will the SPB hit you? Nope, it targets the catcher. Whoops. That's that Mendeley shit. It targets the catcher and leaves you a gate as well. I believe internally we call them shockwaves, so you can get a little bit of catch up with your attack as well. Alright, I think this is possible if I get... Whoa! Fuck! I should never have gone for it. I bailed out way too late. Dang. Alright. Let's have a cleaner run where I don't, like, miss nearly stationary shots. Yeah, like that! Alright, same situation again. You can actually chain hit from that position as well, which is pretty funny. That's a good amount of damage. I think I'm probably in okay shape. Yeah, listen to it. It's pissed as hell. Whoops. Alright, well, we're going somewhere the fuck else right now, I guess. Get up there. Alright, there's one. Sounds like I shouldn't need more than one more hit here. Oh god, not another sneaker endgame. Why do I stop like this? Yeah, GL's a little rough. Eidolon has some plans for a more robust hardware renderer down the line that I'm personally really excited for. There we go. That's like work that we very much intend to do. Software ain't bad here, though. I know that V1 software is quite rough, but Ring Racer software, for a lot of people, is a very, very dramatic improvement, and I'm like the person who usually fucking is live or die correct perspective man. What led you to change the key of this song? Oh yeah, because you got to hear the earlier versions that were 2 semitones up. I wasn't super a fan of the way I listened on a couple different sets of headphones, and the lead was kind of bugging me at the higher pitch. One of the harmonics was just kind of digging into me a little bit. So yeah, look at this. Dog shit ring bonus. Fucking literally second place, first course in the cup. We still made it. The requirements are fairly lenient as long as you, like, your play is somewhat grounded. This is a really bad joke. The keygen joke is something that I had to be convinced to do. But I had some Commodore patches already loaded up, so may as well, right? I won't be playing Amy for a bit, so may as well. Weird fucking thing. Testers were very, very, very reluctant to use these, and it's one of those things that I could not make sense of. Oh, hey. Yeah, that guy fucking arrived, huh? Yeah, if you're aggressively retrying, you are hurting your final rank by a lot. So, like, keep at it. This game has more catch-up than it does in V1 by, like, a considerable margin. And often, like, really absurd positions are recoverable if you play clean and, like, stay collected. Man, I already feel better. I've been wound up for, like, the whole fucking week waiting to unleash this thing on people. We actually planned to go, like, considerably earlier in the month, but some strange, unexpected circumstances forced us to delay a little bit. They aren't sure. Alright, should we go even more extremely fucked up? I think I'll go even more extremely fucked up. Let's select this mecha guy. I still can't believe the voice source that people picked out for this. I worked almost exclusively on music and gameplay programming and design. I did some sounds as well. A couple people have asked me if I think the explosion sound is loud enough, and whoa, that's interesting. That's a new one. That is a dev texture. It was never gonna be perfect on release. That's based. I have not seen that happen in any version of this build before. We were locked on this release candidate for so long. That's crazy that that can happen. That must be like OBS hook shenanigans or something. Fire had that happen earlier. Yeah, I wonder if there's like... It could be a problem with the build, it could be a problem with an OBS interaction. OBS caused all sorts of weird shit in Car V1. Y'all remember that? You'd fucking game capture like V1 OpenGL, and your fucking game would like completely de-atomize. Deeply confusing. Maybe ACS error? Maybe. That was supposed to be a back throw. Remind me to take a look at fucking profile configurable item throw intents down the line. That's something where, like, the implementation I came up with was that ended up being pretty simple for that, but it's something I'd like to expand down the line. I'm too terrible at kart racers to play well in this far, but so, like, the presentation in every aspect has been so damn immersive. I really appreciate that. It's nice to see people enjoying the various aspects on display here. And, like, as far as being good at kart racers goes, number one, keep at it. The learning curve is more like a learning cliff if you're having trouble taking the information in, but I promise it does sink into your hands eventually. And number two, easy mode is there for a reason. It is not shameful to use it. It was tuned for a lot of people that I know and respect greatly, who were struggling to take everything in, but were able to have a way smoother learning experience with, like, a little bit less pushback from the game. Who did pick the Truxton music? Was that Chenji? Yeah, early course, the bots aren't gonna give me too much grief. I can just kind of feel things out here. Popcorn Workshop was the site of some absolutely brutal dev competition. That was Oni. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Remember, Chenji made Ring Racers. Chenji composed UFO Catcher. Yeah, that sound, I don't think I made it loud enough. I might have to do a second pass on that, actually. Is the controller experience any smoother than the all-keyboard experience? I think keyboard out of the box is a little rough, IMO. I would have liked to lay out the controls differently, but some initial tests were like, we ended up wanting to stick closer to the V1 out of the box defaults to help people, like, make the transition from keyboard play in one game to the other. But I'm a pad player, for sure. I'm a dirty analog stick user, and it actually started a lot of conversation during development about how to, like, make sure that keyboard and D-pad users aren't losing access to important gameplay tricks. Poor fucker got stuck on the fucking slope and he's trying to ring shoot her out. Poor guy. Oops. You told me about how fucking deranged the D-pad / stick recognition is, and I am terrified of you. Okay, so the D-pad stick recognition input display stuff kind of lives with the 16 angle wrong way hand as, like, my proof that our assets people hate each other, and themselves, most of all. Because, like, there are two different input displays. One if you have analog controls bound in your profile, and one if you don't. Dude, why did I give bots the ability to insta-whip you? That's something I gotta fucking rip out of the codebase right now. And, because all the game logic sees is your turning input, it kind of has to make a guess as to, like, whether you're using D-pad or analog stick. But it was somewhat important to us that that information be, like, conveyed accurately if it was available. So it assumes you're on D-pad until you input something that can't be input with a D-pad, at which point it assumes you're on analog. But if you pinpoint a light steer coordinate, which is a feature that we did pretty late, where you've seen it in the profile accessibility menu possibly, if you input diagonal down on a digital input device, it will give you a half-strength turn, which you normally wouldn't have access to. It's kind of like some of that stuff from Trackmania. If you pinpoint a light steer coordinate, those are typically outside of the range of typical analog stick gates, so it will start displaying your inputs as if you're on D-pad again. It's real goofy. It's one of those things where I felt the need to go above and beyond for it because other members of the team did things that just objectively did not need to be done in any regard. I thought about action keys, but honestly, the input filtering that takes place and the fact that controller has light steer, or the fact that D-pad and keyboard have light steer. Hey, it's a CD. Nice. That was about as close to parity as I think anyone was willing to go without, like, adding a bunch of setup complexity or, like, over-nerfing a control type to the extent that it affected what you were able to do in-game. These are the kinds of, like, weird mechanical considerations that I spent a lot of time on, because, like, I'm a game logic guy. I did almost nothing in the realm of, like, graphics to level design. I'm a musician, I'm a gameplay programmer, and I'm one of those weird fucking people who is, like, extremely passionate about fighting games despite having never actually been good at any of them. Learning this game on rectangle and hitting illegal drift angles. Honestly, fair game. There were definitely some initial drafts of slip tiding and what we have cheekily called the wave dash, that boost refund you get from it, that unfairly gave analog users a lot of fucking power. And as sad as I was to lose those because they allowed for some very deeply funny cornering strategies, it had to be done. Illegal rectangles refers to arcade dumps of Konami games, which is a different type of illegal rectangles. Tiny banana didn't do shit. Missed opportunity. Is this the part where I admit I still don't know what slip tiding is? Not being able to launch with a slip tide tutorial is one of my big regrets. I think people are gonna figure it out, and I made an effort to, like, use it judiciously in all of my staff ghosts to make sure that players who aren't plugged into the community can still discover it. But a slip tiding tutorial post-release is absolutely on the docket, and the only reason we didn't launch with one is because some of the plans for sculpting a layout for one just ended up not working out as well as we thought. For what it's worth, slip tiding is while you're... That's blue on blue. I did that to myself. Slip tiding is basically, the quickest way I can explain it is while you're boosting, start turning and tap drift. Definitely slip tiding was like... It was never planned to go in the main tutorial. And there are a lot of things that, like... Obviously, as you can see from the somewhat divisive reception, we felt very strongly about, like, having a pretty extensive tutorial for the game's baseline mechanics and like a little bit of friction before getting online to avoid a very, very common pattern of people falling off the game. Where it's like, if we lose people in the tutorial, that's fine, but at least we lose them in like designed gameplay content and not on like Joe Schmo's fucking mustard gas server. That was like a decision that was made very early on in that onboarding process. But there are a lot of things that just aren't appropriate for an initial tutorial because, like, players don't need to know them. And slip tiding is one of those. Let's get a little bit of a restock here. I feel like I'm having some trouble keeping up. Can I do it? It won't be enough, but it's a pretty worthwhile launch. Now, do I insta-whip defend here? I think I... No, I've got plenty of slack. Bots didn't have the resources for that S-turn that I thought they did. That's a big fucking slowing point at the very end of the course because it's a giant uphill fucking S-turn. It's something that has room for refinement down the line, and ultimately, like... Well, I don't know. I have my own thoughts on it, and I think in the wake of release, we've got... Fuck! Sorry, what I was just explaining is not important anymore. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me. That's crazy. Oh, shit. Look at that guy, he's moving. Alright, let's lock sneakers so I can take this fucking tricky cut here. And I'm gonna burn extra because... I fucking love Ringbox. I don't like lightning shit. Wait, why did you fucking detonate there, huh? What did you think you saw, Metal? The one thing that I have yet to see anyone, like, materially complain about is, like, hit lag. And, not really a surprise to me personally. It's one of those things that instantly, like, felt at home when I was first playing some of the test builds. Where, like, just having feedback for Lightning Shield. Lightning Shield is an item that I think is not really in line with, like, the way Ring Racers wants direct counterplay to work, for the most part. And I think it could probably do with another gameplay pass in the future. But fortunately, a lot of the other mechanics prevent it from being a big outlier. Because, like, holding Lightning Shield is, like, it's got an opportunity cost for sure. Oof. Hit lag absolutely affects a lot of, like, close to item set, close to finish line interactions in ways that I think are almost exclusively for the better. But it also serves as, like, a really important marker that, like, contact has taken place. Anybody who's seen that fucked up video, that Twitter clip of the Magneto ROM loop with all the hit lag removed? Anybody who's seen that knows. Whew. Sometimes these things are just necessary. So yeah, pretty rough start. I can vividly recall that, like, among even moderately strong players, sometimes, like, flubbing a start boost in V1 would literally be the end of the race. So it does feel pretty gratifying to set up single player that, like, allows people to struggle at the start and, like, get some fucking room. Did I make that shot? Nice. One of the big things that I did behind the scenes that I like... It's not the sort of thing that you, like, often get asked about in that way, because it's sort of something that runs behind the scenes, is, I ended up re-implementing the local camera stuff from V1. Sal laid a really, like, strong foundation for that, but it did need a final pass with the aim for, like, net game playability. And that was a project that I took on in my own time.
Is that your best?
And, like, if you've played this game, you felt it, because it ships out of the box with 2 frames of input delay. Sorry, 2 ticks. I believe that's, call it a little bit under 4 frames Celsius. And that was, like, originally my idea, and then I went back and forth on it so many fucking times you would not even believe. Even now, I'm not 100% sure it's the right choice, and it's the sort of thing that I wish we could, like, surface a little bit better and let the player make a more informed decision about it. But it meant a lot to, people who wanted to, like, meaningfully prepare for online without, like, having to shy away from single-player content. It's like, we were able to design the game around D2, which is, like, best reasonable internet connection that you can expect for this game. And I think, in the end, a lot of track layouts and mechanics performed better for it. Like, Tap Insta-Whip was fucking maddening on D2. We all realized how bad that shit was so fast. There is still absolutely work to be done on that front, though. It's... If there's something I feel most strongly about working on post-release, it is, like, further improvements to online, because online is where I personally plan on spending a lot of my time, you know? It's like, raiding random listen servers on day 1 is what has made this game feel real for me. Like, oh, this exists in a form that I can now play with people. Although, I will say, like, I had an interesting turnaround in the middle of development where I felt really strongly that, like, that single-player content was kind of an unfortunate, like, allocation of resources. And I will just happily take an L on this one. The reason I thought that is because I didn't think we could do it in a way that would entertain, like, people who are heavily invested in the handling model. And I was wrong. I think we did. And that's fucking wild to me. Sal did so much incredible work on bots to get them to the level of, like, opponents that are engaging in the same way that humans are, even if they don't drive like humans do. Yeah, and then having had some time to fucking, like, let the thoughts percolate, realizing more and more that people fell off Cart V1 at the exact point they were required to enter multiplayer with, like, no built skills. That informed a lot of decisions about, like, some of the shit that has been divisive today. It's just, if people are gonna fucking drop off the game, it's better for it to happen in, like, designed content where we have the chance to keep them than in, like, a completely lawless hellfuck nightmare environment where you're fighting the 15 strongest players in your region. You guys fucking sick of me yet? This one! This one's a real bastard. Early lock triple Orby here. Missed the fun zipper fast fall, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Nice. No shit! I think that was the unlock for all Orbinauts. Heard that sound go off. Tried to play Quake live for the first time type experience. Dude, I fucking love arena shooters, and even I can't play Quake live now. That environment is just like... It's on a level that I don't even remotely feel prepared to handle. And I'm not even bad at those types of games. I wouldn't say I'm, like, exceptionally skilled, but I'm, like, kinda there. Yeah, the copy for difficulty selection in Grand Prix is something that I wrote, and I really meant it when I said that normal GP is meant to be a balanced challenge for everyone. That was like a full week of just obsessively going over the numbers and bot behavior repeatedly while watching a ridiculous amount of tester GP footage to try and make sure that, like, the nightmare scenario for me was that I turned it down too much and that the players who were most invested in the game would be bored. And trying to balance that with, like, initial accessibility and the feeling of players, like, being allowed to make progress and learn incrementally is... It's a difficult balancing act, and I'm not convinced that I got it entirely right, but I'm proud of the work that I did, I think. And yeah, obviously fucking... Sealed Stars as an environment just kicks so much ass. It was really fun to do the music for those. Well, 2 of 3 tracks for those, I suppose. 3 if you count a menu track that is, like, kind of blatantly just the same track as before. Take it easy, Gunla. Breathe deep, sheep. We fucking did it. Pat on the back. We made it. That was a pretty good record, damn.
Is that your best?
Directional lighting is one of those, like, really subtle renderer tweaks that, like, completely changed the way the game feels. But I, as a dumb non-artist, didn't notice until I, like, had to bisect and find a build without directional lighting to test something and went, huh. Why does it feel fucked up and wrong? Deeply confusing. This capsule is a little bit satanic. I suppose I deserved that. I made the bot whip behavior pretty, like... they're a little ornery. They're tough. Noticed the directional lighting instantly as an SRB2 dev because stuff actually looked good without having to be meticulously baked in. Yeah, fucking... I don't think anybody in our assets pipeline felt like fucking doing build engine pre-baked lighting nightmare shit. It's a tweak that is, like, really computationally simple, but, like, does a lot for the feel of the game, especially in, like, a lot of outdoor areas. Dude, mecha's too fucking heavy. How do people do this? Basically the only time when things got, like, mechanically removed from this game before they got to see the light of day was when they turned out to be, like, too binary. Like, one of the very last gameplay changes that I ended up making is that overcharging spin dash actually doesn't give you any extra charge, which is, like, something that's intended pretty much exclusively for time attack starts and position, so that people don't feel like they have to hit really precise inputs to get runs that are worth continuing. It's like already hitting your 2-tick window for Perfect Rocket Start in V1 could be frustrating if, like, the amount you cared outweighed your ability to execute. And I had stuff like that in mind pretty closely. How about that new Shrink, by the way? It's missing one major conveyance thing that I'd really like to get to post-release, which is that if you get hit by the trail far away from the laser, you get shrunk for less total time. It's designed to be less punishing if you're making an attempt to avoid them but don't succeed completely. And unfortunately, there's, like, no conveyance for that, so I just have to say that and hope that it percolates through the community. There used to be no leniency on the smallest particles either, so like, you would touch a particle that was literally not getting rendered at your viewport resolution and get shrunk for the full duration. How close is Tails? I think I heard him on the lower level of the slope. I wonder if it'd be possible to do some more advanced audio spatialization stuff down the line. Let's restock on rings for that bonus. I have never heard the separation between amount of care versus ability to execute used as an actual design concern before. As somebody who frequently occupies the intermediate player hole, where you're super into the design of a game in the abstract, but like the ability to control it is beyond you without a time investment, that's a spot that I don't like being in. And like, trying to lift people up from that informs a lot of my like gameplay tweaks. Can I do it? Nah. All good. Take it easy. Thank you, Mosses. It's a big weight off my shoulders. I'm not like... I've never done a big, like, project release like this before. And I think the thing that you're supposed to, like, believe that you feel is an incredible sense of, like, where the fuck did he come from? Of all-consuming relief, right? Something like euphoria. Fucking sinking into a hot bath and letting the fucking anvils off your shins. Ooh. That was hot. My fucking display freaked out for a moment. But, what the fuck am I talking about? Shit, I actually completely lost my train of thought, and now I'm in this goddamn spot again. What I actually feel is, like, my regular emotions have been allowed to, like, slowly kickstart again. Well, Best is currently my favorite theme, too. I was wondering if something that downtempo felt right for a, like, first place finish. But I think the rest of Dev guided me in the right direction on that point. None of this was done alone. Anything that I claim as my own, like, I may have done the work, but it was, like, the ecosystem is the reason I was able to work the way that I have. You fucker. How could you do this to me? Yeah, thanks for that, asshole. New Eudoro, huh? Let me actually log into my alerts. I turned off my alerts because they were super noisy, so if I've been missing people fucking throwing shit at me, I really apologize. I deeply appreciate all the support from people coming out tonight, but like, mostly I'm just here because it feels more normal for me to be here, and that like brings me some strange comfort. Talking about video games in ways that like nobody but me fucking gives a shit about is like my bread and butter, and so it feels like a return to normalcy. Also, hey, welcome back to this layout, except the gimmick is no longer separated by how good your graphics card is. You get back here, you little fucker. I'm definitely gonna run into my own fucking gotcha bomb down here. New Doro, perhaps? New Doro, if you will, and I will. Yeah, that was a fucking Sal and Oni gameplay concept, and I believe it was Jart that did the, like, precise implementation details. We had some issues where it was, like, really finicky on slopes because fucking of course. Ooh, that's good. We almost fixed every collision problem of that flavor, but there are a few that still remain. There are a couple, like, crazy edge cases to the way that collision works that are, like, absolutely post-release challenges. And yeah, turning Qdoro into, like, a very strange, unorthodox trap item, rather than a completely uninteractive steal, is, like... What I did to fucking Qdoro in Juicebox was very, very conservative, because Juicebox's constraints were basically that I couldn't, like, I didn't want to change anything that people were familiar with too much. If people played it completely like vanilla V1, I wanted that to be okay, and I wanted them to, like, benefit from the design changes as much as possible. And that's something that, like, Ring Racers kind of fucking gave up on. And it makes it, like, a little imposing, for sure. A lot of people that I deeply respect have talked about, like, the culture shock opening the game is. That it also allows it to, like... Dropping those restrictions allows for so much more interesting gameplay at mid and top levels. I really can't hit anyone with items. Here's a trick. Combine item speed with your own speed. We intentionally made it broken as shit. Oh, I missed that set. This is pretty rough. Chunky items is another one of those things where, like... Was that another Sal and Oni concept? I know Oni talked about it a lot. In kind of the same breath as Ringbox stuff. But just reducing the total number of items and, like, giving players reasons to directly engage with each other at the set boundary immediately made, like, item play so much more interesting for us. That was just Sal, damn. I can't believe Shenji made chunky items. Chunky items is reducing the number of items in a set from, like, 10,000 to 3 or 4, and making them, like, way bigger, more visible targets. Which is, like, a change that's been in the game for long enough that I kind of forgot it was a change. Not quite. Using rings a little bit early in advance of, like, a rough landing on a slope. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, this has a delay because it feels more consistent to build the game around, like, momentum and, like, moment-to-moment chaining together, like, smooth movement, rather than anything related to Twitch reactions. And I think largely that design goal succeeds. No, no, no! I just realized I couldn't see the lightning that far out. There was a draft fairly late in development where we scaled up the shield graphics, but there was some technical shit going wrong with it, in addition to, like, some of the art team wanting to, like, revisit those assets. So it didn't end up making the cut. But in situations like that, you gotta wonder, you know? That was a clean counter steer, by the way. Get away from me. Being able to hold rings through a item box for a brief time. That was a fun thing to design by accident and then leave in on purpose. Alright, goodbye my 2-point slap bonus, but I think I should be back in the zip code once I carry the speed through. Ah! Bar! This time I'm really gonna do it. Am I tricking myself, or is this a higher FOV than default? It is. This is max FOV at 110. Camera options were pretty, like, divisive during development because they're both a comfort option and a competition option. Where, like, having a wider field of view... Here goes! Is, like, genuinely quite mechanically important. Damn it. When it comes to, like, assessing your situation. The camera got a bunch of tweaks in development. We pulled it back, we raised it a lot so that, like, flat courses are easier to read, and that, like, with the more varied types of attacks you take on in ring racers, they're a little bit easier to process. There was some talks right up until release about shipping the game at default 100 FOV, and I think that might still be something that we pursue. For me personally, I don't use it for visibility reasons. I use it because I'm a bit motion sensitive. If you saw the screen shake toggle in profiles that includes a half option, that was me. If you can't find the camera options, we don't expose cam dist and cam height. I feel some type of way about those being present, but if you check the accessibility options, field of view is here, and you can also, if you're not looking to play online, you can turn off minimum input delay, you can work with screen tilting, screen shake. If you're getting flashbanged by tons of shit, please give reduce effects a try. This is something that we implemented for a member of the team who is, like, medically photosensitive, and it cuts down a lot of what's going on screen, basically reducing the VFX to only the cues that are required to play the game. Everything conveys some type of information, or we wouldn't have it here, but a lot of things are cut off in reduce VFX mode because the information they convey is not going to be worth the, like, clutter and overstimulation for certain types of players. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, especially, like, early in the game, please consider giving that a look. Some things might look a little bit strange at first because we are pretty aggressive with what we remove, but that's because it's, like, it's a safety option. It was required for one of our devs to safely play the game. Custom position music, by the way. Fucking relatively easy feature to implement. Very, very nice for theming. Ugh, that's an awkward angle. I couldn't bear to turn the screen shake off completely, but high amounts of it do bug me quite a bit. So screen shake half was my compromise for my personal use. It's like, if I feel like I would use this and it's not an option that's, like, disruptive to the experience, then I should put it in, because I assume there are people like me. That spike ball item. This one? That is the landmine. It is a very low-profile trap, which makes it difficult to see on slopes or when it's, like, visually covered. And it is a frontrunner exclusive item that tumbles, making it extremely potent, but it's also kind of, in a matching way, a little bit difficult to apply compared to some of the other frontrunner exclusive options that cover wider areas or can give you, like, more direct space or attacking power. Hasta la vista, fucker. Ooh, I really wanted Super Ring. I was hoping to burn to 0 for it there, but... Okay, I guess I genuinely forgot that I trapped that. I am so bad about driving my own trapped lines in this game, it is unreal. Who decided to make Shrink into a sweeper? I forget who exactly worked on that gameplay concept. Definitely involves a lot more, like, counterplay than just getting shrunk. But I'm aware that, like, for various historical reasons, it was pretty uncommon for V1 to, like, be played with shrink and play at all. This bastard. Yeah, it was Chenji. There you go. Ooh, did I miss it? It'll be close. I kind of got thrashed at the end. Yeah, it's a first place tie. Woohoo! This is the first sealed star layout that was in the game, by the way. This is the one where the mechanics were initially tested. I'll dip out for this. Oh yeah, you're done. Hey! Get back here. Can I have that second capsule? Sure thing. Sealed stars were kind of the level designer opportunity to do things that, like, wouldn't work very well in a race context, but, like, the game's physics and handling model still totally technically allow for. So this is, like, absolutely where the gloves come off. And a lot of really trickier, thorny sections are going to start appearing. Because they're absolutely meant for, like, people who feel like they're reaching the limits of what the game has to offer them. To show them, hey, we got a little bit more. I'm going to refill my water and take a quick break. Please enjoy.
Is that your best?
I fucking knew the SPB section was going to be divisive more than anything. We didn't nerf that section too many times, just like until persistent non-gamers with no racing game experience were able to get through it. But those were people who were like, they're approaching it cold and like pretty relaxed. So people who feel really strongly about the stuff and are feeling pretty impatient are obviously like, it's harder to take in information, and like, you're gonna perform worse. It's just unavoidable. Again, I promise it is not that tough. Keep at it. That's one that I'm not gonna get on my own for a bit, so let's go ahead and grab that. Yeah, the first checkpoint in the underwater section. Can you believe that we initially prototyped that section with no checkpoint? That was like one of the fastest mistakes ever discovered. Hey, wait a minute. Who's this guy? Alright, I've played enough mecha, I think. Let's, like, go to the opposite edge here and see how things go. Motobug? Sure. Motobug's close enough to that area. Fucking shitty plane. I kinda love it. That is a nice shade for this. Starting at ring data, trying to figure out what goes where is giving me a headache. If you want to skip before we reveal the passwords, you are genuinely better off compiling a version of the game with, like, a defanged password check. Like, those code paths were very much left... I knew it! I had a feeling that I wasn't going fast enough because I didn't air failsafe. I don't think that particular sound was loud enough either. The new snipe sound got in pretty late, and I'm pretty pleased with it. But yeah, people are already sharing around, like, full unlocks and whatnot. And I've seen a couple people acting very confused that their full unlock save does not actually appear to behave like a full unlock save, which is because of some stuff related to, like, the requirement to visit tracks to see them. And by, like, doing things from outside of the cheat code paths, you kind of skip over some state in that way. But yeah, we'll reveal everything given time. Those codes are not in the game for no reason. Just wanted to keep things cleaned up, specifically surrounding release. Alright, give me the money. The bots are gonna be easy on me this round, so I can get used to playing fucking mid-left again. That aerial drift boost release stuff is like... maybe 5 lines of code that, like, changed the entire way you route for mini-turbos across the entire game. It's like... we started realizing how powerful it was, specifically while recording Staff Ghosts, because everybody knew it was good, but, like, especially in a Gear 3 setting where you're being force-fed a lot of important resources, it becomes very scarily applicable and changes a lot of things about the way the game is structured. Oh yeah, for what it's worth, Shao keys don't prevent you from accomplishing the unlockable normally. So if you're the type of person who wants to aim for 100% completion, you can still use them to, like, get side on your board, or to, like, cheat your way to some stuff early. It's not Air Ride. We don't give you the purple mark of shame. Well, we do, but you can fix it later. That's the important thing. I didn't fucking bring my cup back. I'm like, where is my water? I'm really glad that people found the banana cheat very quickly. The mark is you have one less key than people who didn't use one. What, you think we stop generating Shao keys after you have 100%? Nah, nah, nah. You get those on a round-to-round basis, so the net play fiends can still unlock things without having to go through the single-player paths. Hell, if you just want to play, like, Match Race with your friends, we want you to be able to progress unlockables like that. There are some large tiles that are, like, kind of intentionally intended to be, like, bigger roadblocks to test for player competence. But, like, you can still key those too. It just, it takes some more of an investment. You kind of gotta dig them out and then make a big spend for it. Yes, the layout is randomized. Kettle chips. Oh, I could go for some of those, dude. Barbecue kettle chips hit fucking different. Why are these capsules so small? I just realized. Alright, let's do it this way. That slight difference in the ring sound when you're burning to 0 was such a late addition. I can't fucking believe it took me that long to figure out that, like, stealing from Downwell is cool and based. And, like, a shit ton of modern FPS games. Yeah, this is tape syringe. I think it's really fucking cool to, like, hear everybody kind of flexing their stuff here. Oop, not quite. I was so committed to keeping this lightning shield, I did not think about the consequences at all. Alright, at least I get to do... Well, I don't know what I expected. Maybe from the fucking drive through the lasers like a regular person. Oh well, we're out of there. Yeah, Shrink is like a... It changes the way the race progresses for sure. It's like pretty impactful, but it's not like game-warpingly fucked up anymore. Yeah, alright, we're gonna take the springs for that one. Ah, my counter steering. Damn you. Alright, how close is that fucking cock? Ah! You're too heavy, damn you. Oh no. Oh no! Fourth place? I'll still qualify. If I don't... Oh no. Shit. Get that fucking guy off my screen, please. What you've just witnessed is a failure to drink water. Oh, that's good. That's a good one. Very happy with that. That took an absolutely absurd amount of time to get out of my system. Let's be careful this time. Why is my body failing constantly? Yeah, people are whipped into a frenzy about this tutorial situation. Honestly, there are already some talks about, like, making the skip more transparent and easier to perform. I don't want to, like, make any claims that don't come to pass, but it's like, we take it seriously. I swear to God. None of this was unexpected, but, like, I understand that it is all deeply felt. And I'm especially sympathetic to the idea that, like, for those of us who are super invested in the game as a social multiplayer game, the upfront buy-in can be rough. The Puyo position change noise, I believe that was, well, Seth is the one who implemented it, but I don't remember whose idea it was. Everything just fucking blurs together, man. Jesus, my counter steering today is just brutal. Yeah, that specific situation where you, like, you start an insta-whip charge because you don't realize you're out of rings. Oh, no! Was, like, so much worse with tap insta-whip. It is, like, unbelievable. This isn't gonna fucking... Man, if you're not, like, good about fucking counter-steering Shrink, some of the sections in this map are, like, really gonna ream you for it. I really like these types of layouts, though, with, like, the scariest thing in the world is, like, a straightforward counter-steering section. Okay, no murder this time, please. One ring? Third is fine. Third with 0 ring bonus is going to be rough for the end cup ranking, but I believe I can get there. Once I'm stuck on a hill, I'm freaking stuck. Gear 1 will give you slope assist, which, like, makes that a lot easier to handle if you're panicking. This is, like, that's actually something I wasn't going to talk about right away, but one of the specific issues with slowing down the game speed is that a lot of set pieces ended up requiring more resources to traverse at, like, speed. So specifically on Gear 1, slopes are actually so absurdly nerfed that you can drive like it's V1. And I think it's a, like, way more approachable experience if you want to, say, like, put the game on at a party. Where, like, demanding that people keep track of a bunch of stuff while they're also, like, drinking and shouting among each other is not, like, the most achievable ask. But the general solution to slope play is, like, bring rings, prepare for the situation, and if not, spin dash has you covered. Ring debt from insta-whip charge is mechanically, like, really funny. Yeah, it was kind of important that there be, like, a cost to using that passively rather than actively, because, as I'm sure you can probably imagine if by thinking about it for, like, 5 seconds, the initial gameplay drafts of insta-whip led to some really, really bad endgames where it was, like, impossible to approach somebody who was doing the obvious thing of, like, burning all their rings out at the end of a race to, like, you know, use it or lose it, right? This layout is, like... It feels almost unrecognizable. I cannot believe what was done to this. It's so fucking cool. Can I? Ah, not quite. Next time. Because, like, you know what this layout is, right? If you're playing V1, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is just the thing. But, like, I dreamed it. There's a much later map that gave me that experience where, like, it was implemented, like, solidly in the middle of development, and I did, like, 6 or 7 laps on it before I realized what V1 layout it was. because it felt that mechanically different. Oh yeah, how shitty does this look if I do this? The final tuning of this shader was something that I cared about a lot, but I will not claim any fucking credit for the way that it actually functions. This was entirely Sal's work, and it is, like, a remarkably clever little shader, given, like, how simple the internals are. But in my experience, these types of things with, like, repeated patterns and, like, a lot of, well, the simulated bloom, the blur effect, don't really work very well on, like, limited bitrate. Typically, that's how I play the game, though. I like the look of it. Gonna need a Wii homebrew port. Dude, I would fucking love to believe. A lot of the work that's been done on the rendering backend is actually with, like, at least in part, the aim of making the game a little bit more portable. Yeah, now can I do it? Fucker. Zero ring bonus is rough there. But sometimes you need that fucking spray can. Sneak a Raspberry Pi 5 in the shell of a Wii and call it a day. Might work. Get one of those Intel NUCs or something. Dude, Knuckles is on my ass. What's going on in this cup? See you later, fuckers. Hot Wheels stunt track driver jump scare. Anybody else? Just me? Drop target there is so effective at basically blocking off that entire path. Drop target might be the scariest frontrunner exclusive item, and it doesn't do damage. And I kind of love that. The drop target noise was one of my first contributions to the game back when I was, like, super new to the codebase. And, like, didn't have a lot of the feel for, like, how the flow... Oh, you fucking... Tape! Come get your son! You can't play with the other kids anymore. Oh, you fucking bastard. I just wanted the fucking spring. Why are we doing this to me? Where the fuck is he going? Stop. Can I get that ring box? Nice. I did the ring box sounds, and I gave him my best because I wanted people to intuitively understand that picking up ring box was very fucking good. Obviously, like, moment to moment, whether you choose item or ring is going to be dependent on situation and stats. But, like, it is an option that is very much worth considering. It is not meant to be punitive. Oh, fucking no. I tried to, like, fucking drift switch counter steer and it just did not happen. What? Ugh, it's my own fault. I burned a 0. Somebody get this fucking fat asshole out of my way. Oh, you get the fuck away from me with that. I heard that deploy. Absolutely not. You can fuck right off. So, like, the idea of, like, a risk-reward, like, fucking boost management system that's, like, tied to the damage model in some vague way is, like, it's not hard to understand that it's worked in other genres. We're talking about F-Zero. That's what the post is about. But, like, the specific thing that had me falling in love with the system in its initial drafts was, oh, not quite. I think it'll still be enough with this fucking trick charge, though. Oh, no, but I didn't countersteer enough. Get this fucking guy out of here. Okay, at least it's not Knuckles. My steering is not there. I'm fucking mentally blitzed right now. But we're still hanging on. I think we may or may not go to the Chained Realm this time around. And Sonic Riders Air. It kind of fucking is, dude. Like, the fact that they're effectively required for certain track traversal sections, if you want to take them with, like, any degree of efficiency, makes them a lot more like Air than, like, any other boost system that I'm aware of. Because Riders got real ornery about, like, you try to do fucking Sky Babylon, any part of it at level 1, you're going to suffer unless you play incredibly conservatively. Whoops. Yeah. Alright. We're gonna hang out here for a bit. Ah! There's just no way. Alright, where do I... You fuck. There we go. Oh yeah, the new trick panel stuff. Yeah, people weren't fucking kidding when we said that, like, the Dark Fortress showcase wasn't finished. And that's kind of all I have to say on that, other than, like, I apologize for some of the things that Staff Ghosts do with this mechanic. You can do it! Alright. You apologize, but you're not actually sorry. I apologize for your reaction and not for my action. Which is, like, not a real kind of apology. By the way, this is always a strategy in position. Like, crossing the line with a rainbow isn't quite first blood, but in circumstances where you're allowed to fucking back off and avoid a lot of the up-close fighting, it can be a very compelling alternative. First Blood is a good... It's good in a way that isn't obvious, though. And I wonder how to, like, convey this more clearly in the future. You can't tether off the player with First Blood. So there's no way to steal their speed and use it to, like, kind of cannibalize your own fast start. It is genuinely a reward that's only for them, and... Cool! I fucking love Tripwire! That's great, man. Please enjoy taking that route. Oh, you fucking bastard. Alright, here's this section. We survived this time. Yeah, you're not required to be boosting to go through Tripwire. The tutorial covers it, but only briefly, because, like, fuck, that thing's long enough. But if you're moving quickly enough at the moment of the cross, you'll get through. Tripwire almost feels like a midway mechanic. It is one of the only things in the game that, like, is binary because it has to be. Like, a specific speed breakpoint... Speed breakpoint. Very good. A specific speed breakpoint is kind of unring racers in that way, but it was a concession to continuing to allow shortcuts to, like, be designed in the game. Because physics cuts became incredibly difficult to tune so that frontrunners couldn't take them because of all the ways you can store and, like, manage speed. Where the fuck did you come from, you fucking giant walking problem? Alright. Oh, I hear it! I hear it! And it's aimed straight at me, so I gotta stock up. That might have been a little bit too much of an expenditure for that. Woo! Okay, this is getting a little bit dodgy. I think I might actually just, like, die here. Yeah. SPB punishment reduces a little bit if you've been outrunning it for a long time. So there's still an incentive even in situations where hits are really hard to avoid. We really wanted to do a manual and didn't get to. Oh my god, it's bad, guys. This is not what I wanted for my race. This is that final round, Zaza. That's tough. That was like, I made some pretty rough ring management decisions versus the SPB, so I was like at 0 when the pack came calling already. Which is like, that is a situation where you have absolutely dug your own grave. Get out of the way, you fucking fat ass. Fuck. Alright, get me out of here. Where's that going? Help. Yeah, it's the Super Mario Kart style for sure. Wait, what the fuck are you doing mining the game for unlockables and save data formatting when you haven't played a GP, dude? Kursov! What? Alright. To each their own. I've been playing, I just don't lose. I get it, I understand. Honestly, the correct play in that SPB situation was probably to, like, burn more aggressively to 0 and then use the, set before the, forced fastfall section to restock. Maybe you've already noticed it, but if you're in first place and at 0 rings, there's actually a bunch of extra super ring items in the roulette to help you restock. And it's partially, like, specifically for that reason. But it can be easy to forget when you're under pressure. This is a fucking terrible place to put a drop target, by the way. Please try this in all of your human games to, like, lose friends and alienate people. Alright, this is a little bit scary. Kinda everybody in the whole world is currently riding my bumper, but, like, I've got some distance. It's just like, we're very much in that one mistake territory. This is kind of the difficulty tuning I was hoping for what it's worth. The idea, where is he fucking going? The idea that even as, like, I'm pretty close to expert when it comes to this game, which, like, should make some sense intuitively to you why that is. And I'm still able to, like, have an enjoyable time on normal. That was a big priority when tuning this. Am I gonna get enough of a restock here? Is there a hard speed? It is unlockable, and it is a little bit fucked up. Where is he fucking going? What's wrong with him? Oh, thank you, Hudoro. I really appreciate that. Alright. So, I think I'm gonna miss here. Yeah. But I still get to keep moving. I personally have a hard time finding out where I need to go on the track, not because of flashing nonsense, but direction is difficult. Yeah, I sympathize. There's a lot of things that are going on simultaneously, and your opportunities to take in information about the way the track is laid out are limited when you're also, like, trying to take other things in. I cannot stress enough that if you are struggling with the game in a way that's unfun, but, like, want to give it some more time, which is, like, I appreciate that grace from people who are, like, having a rough initial experience. Please, please, please do not think there is any shame in playing on fucking Easy GP or Gear 1. They're there for a very specific reason. I do wonder what would happen if we had no fucking tutorial. I'm pretty confident the reaction would be worse. But, like, You never know with people sometimes. I'd like to think that I'm like... that I take people's concerns and emotions seriously when it comes to this stuff, because obviously people's emotions are going to be running high with this shit. It's been in development for way too fucking long, and it's a sequel to something that people hold really close to their heart. So, like, fucking of course, when it violates their expectations in a way that feels abrasive or unpleasant, people are gonna, like, make note of it. People are gonna talk about it. But I wonder about the alternative. That's, like... that's a forever unknown now. We'll never get to find out. How are you vibing, Tyron? I'm hanging in there, Chrome. I'm like... it's been nice to talk about my role in this thing, because for a lot of, like... in a lot of ways, I feel like I've kind of been toiling away silently without the ability to talk about, like, the things that I love the most about my work here. I watched a friend's mood completely crater upon the trick into air ring section of the tutorial. The very last one! It's a rough timing challenge because you're making decisions based on vibes. I wonder if we should soften that a little bit because, like, it's not really teaching a new skill so much as, like, solidifying the ideas that are already present. And for most of the footage that I've seen, people don't really have a problem with the idea that they're meant to trick early. So, like, I wonder if the concern is misplaced. It's something I'd like to talk to the team about in the future. I think there should be an inverted vertical trick option. One of the things that I'd like to do, not just for our content, but for mods as well, is a, like, Lua-readable player preference for inverted vertical control. There are a lot of situations where people prefer it in one case but not another, though. And there are, like... you imagine, like, the Lua paraglider gimmick from V1 re-implemented. And, like, people might feel differently about how they'd like to control that compared to, like, trick panels. So it's something that I'd like to explore implementing down the line. Genuinely, I wish you guys could see the internal issue tracker right now. If so many things that people are fucking talking about are things that, like, but I personally already have plans for. It's just that the game was ready enough. And obviously, based on your onboarding experience, you can disagree with that take, but it didn't feel right to hold back any longer, especially as, like, the energy in the room changed with regards to, like, development talks. Also, I believe technically we do allow console access multiplayer before the unlock is technically present. For, like, specifically that case of, like, playing with a known listen server. But we will also be releasing the progression skip passwords after, like, the initial release craziness has died down. So if you want to take responsibility for your friend's experience, you can give them the password. I don't think we ever use trick panels in Grab Flip. I really hope it's not fucked up, but I guess we'll find out. I'm like... I hope it's obvious that I'm trying to be really careful here, because, like... obviously, as a developer who's put a lot of time into this, it does, like... it stings in a way that's difficult to describe when people have a rough experience. And everyone feels pretty seriously about that, I think. Even if, like, the way people choose to communicate that experience is, not my preferred communication strategy, broadly speaking. It's deeply felt. I don't want to take people lightly or, like, accuse them of not feeling the things that they feel. Just that, like, the situation is a little bit more complicated than it appears at first glance. And, like, I don't want to speak for Dev as a whole, because, like, Dev as a whole is not, like, a corporation with, like, a fucking PR person and, like, a letterbox. We're just, like, a bunch of dudes for the most part. But, like, I love talking design. And while I'm not gonna, like, claim responsibility for every choice that's made in this game, almost all of them were made with, like, some degree of me nodding my head and going, yeah, the reasons for this make sense. Even in cases where I, like, weight the involved factors differently, even in cases where I ultimately disagree. So, like, I want people to feel okay to, like, bring those conversations here as long as you're prepared for, like, a conversation that does involve, like, some back and forth and some, like, acknowledgement of nuance. I think that's basically my piece on this, and I hope that, like, comes across as somewhat reasonable. Some nuance. And yeah, absolutely you can go unlock hunting and multiplayer with friends, even online. That was, like, super important to a couple of us. I know that the feeling for a lot of people on Dev was, like, that Ring Racers represents the opportunity to, like, ship a complete game in a way that, like, you better not! Why did I even burn to 0 under that? Tape? Do I have to start source diving? Did we buff Caterkiller? What is this? I feel like I started playing Motobug and my life became incredibly complex. Love that custom intro music. In general, not even in the specific example, but just, like, when discussing fucking creative works or, like, fucking entertainment products in general, I think a lot of people go as far as, like, I had a negative experience and then don't feel compelled to, like, question why the decisions they find abrasive were initially made. This is no longer me even talking about Ring Racers. This is me talking about, like, the way people talk about games at, like, a top level. And it's like, as the consumer of an entertainment product, I don't feel anyone should feel compelled to, like... Oh, I love that start! Fuck! I don't feel anyone should feel compelled to become a fucking media analysis guy for something that they just want to fucking put on with some friends. But if your intent is to, like, understand the things that you interact with better, if you, like, love games on that level, then... like, add it to your repertoire. It makes a lot of things, like, not just make more sense, but it makes a lot of frustrating situations easier to bear. I'm fucking dead. What the fuck did I unlock for that? Huh? You know what? I'm not even concerned about that. I just don't think my Motobug is very good. This fly text was, like, one of my additions very close to launch, by the way. That try drifting. Garden Top represents a particular design challenge because there are situations where it is very obviously strong to players of all skill levels, but there are, like, harder to access situations where it's, like, super strong only for people who are, like, comfortable with the handling. And I tried to soften a lot of its, like, rougher tendencies by giving it like some deceleration when you're like deflecting off of walls at harsh angles, or when you're facing a different direction than you're like traveling. And I think that helped one of the big issues with it, which is like the feeling of losing progress because you fall out of control. Was that my banana? That was my banana, wasn't it? I'm such a fucking bastard. But I feel like there's probably still some more work to be done, that like maybe we could take a look at the air ride handling model and like add something on top of it that like allows players to access a weaker version of like that style of movement that requires a less dramatic shift. Where does this guy keep coming from? I had to burn to 0 because I was too scared, but I'll take it. Whew. I personally had a lot of fun with this, even though I can barely play online because I'm getting owned by packet loss. I'm sorry to hear that. Future work on the netcode is one of the things that I think is most important for the long-term health of the game, but especially because I'm probably going to be personally moving to a situation where my internet's going to be rough for a bit. I feel a strong attachment to, like, making the game feel fair for myself. Okay, so other Motobug players are also getting rocked by Caterkiller. That's good to know. I think there are some circumstances where, like, high weight is just genuinely fucking terrifying. Shoutouts to Savage Regime, gotta be one of my favorite fucking arrangers. Alright, let it rip. Woohoo! Barely made it. That's a fun-ass sequence, man. Nothing is worse. Fucking indeed. That's a rough cycle on that laser, though. I think... yeah, that's fine. Where is he coming from? Someone please kill him. Yeah, get fucked, idiot. Az, have you downloaded it yet? Or have you been in fucking Silver Wastes all day? I would recommend that if you're, like, just playing multiplayer on the couch on, like, a typical TV, this is one of the reasons that I had some reservations about the minimum input delay option shipping, like, default on. I think if you're playing on a laggy HD TV in local play, you should set that to 0. I feel very strongly about that. You fuck... Alright. Holy shit, that guy's just fucking gone. Can you believe it? I should have taken the low path to restock. That was my fault. Tie for 4th, I think. Yeah, my Motobug is not good. I am not strong here.
Good one.
Somehow a friend got Sealed Star on the very first try, and I'm cheering them on. Let's go! It was really funny to see people who are comfortable with V1 and, like, kept their eyes up in the tutorial, being able to access those super early. And it was important that we got that feedback, too, because a couple of them, like, did receive some conveyance changes to make them, like, feel less hostile. Like, they're meant to feel kind of, like, unsettling to navigate because they break a lot of the rules of the way that, like, racecourses are typically built. But they're not meant to be, like, specifically mean, except in, like, a couple of instances, which we allow because they are funny. Man, you're still in Slaughter Wastes. I threw in a couple shuffles. I hope it helps. Alright, here's the meme. really get spin dash TBH. It's kind of a weird thing to have in the game, you know? Like, oh, this is another way of going fast from a standstill. But generally it's for, like, situations where slope navigation is being rough to ya. Here's a fun air boost. We got that Magneto shit. We're limiting that airtime. Now that overcharging spin dash, I got some stuff to bring up to the team, I think. It's like, we tested with a lot of fucking people from a lot of different, like, backgrounds when it comes to, like, familiarity with the game. Getting feedback from people who were familiar with V1 was actually, like, the lowest priority when it came to the tutorial specifically, because it was really important to see how people who were totally fresh to, like, the game's design language were able to treat it. I think I'll just probably take the zip here. Not enough. Stock up just a little bit so I'm not in terrible debt. What are you holding? I know you're holding something. Drop target. If you're doing well, Joypolis is crazy difficulty sometimes. I think this is a track where the bots are just, like, natively quite strong, typically. This is... that is an item pull. See you later. We already have a couple ideas for, like, what to do about the tutorial cope. It is not going ignored. But hey, for those of you who fucking pushed through, I hope you're enjoying things. I don't think I'll make it here. Woo! Look at that. That was a rough fucking cup, dude. These were... I promise you the restrictions are lenient. This is one of my favorites. I believe this is Chrome. One out of 3, pretty rough. Yeah, Auto Excel is like, I think we need to more clearly label that that's like kind of an advanced option in the form that it currently exists. You are definitely not the first person who's provided feedback like that about, I air boosted! They got it, nice. That's good shit. This verse was added so late in development. It feels kind of goofy revealing that. Alright, so I'm behind on damage by a fair amount, but I think I'll probably be okay. Yeah, those are going faster than I expect, so those should be all targeted at the catcher rather than trying to stagger them out. Oh, you bastard, why'd you do that? Yeah, SRB2 cart players are not a monoculture. And a lot of people have been playing a game that was, like, built by the community. And I say the community only as shorthand because, like, I don't want to diminish the incredible work that modders have done with regards to, like, keeping this game healthy and alive. I was a modder too. This shit is important. Is it gonna be enough? Ah, I should have braked! I don't know if I'm still on pace for S, but I think I've got this one. This is the other thing, like when people asked, why does GP have lives? Not being able to tell them about this and still having to give a reason that made sense was kind of wild. Because there is still a reason. It is, like, genuinely meant to act as, like, a difficulty gated filter. And that's, like, important. Fucking kicking people out of challenges that they're not prepared for is, like, an important function of the way that video game difficulty functions. Even though I said that in, like, maybe the goofiest possible way that you can convey that idea. Alright, so we're gonna wait on this until after the landing. Using your own water ski properties to, like, make items water ski. Ooh! That fucking shot! That's hot, dude. I usually don't make that. Come here. Yeah. I don't think this is still S with that number. It continues in the, like, close A rank, but we're taking that home. Gonna need that fucking Warsaw Longshot medal immediately. Yay, game crash. Congratulations on unlocking Jack Frost. I've been waiting to say that to someone for a year. Wow, no shit. 436, that's like... I was on way better pace than I thought. Dang. It's the ring bonus, I swear. Ring bonus is like that crucial tiebreaker between bad performance and good performance, the way these are scored. I swear to God. Game crashes if you try to save a replay with no name. I will add that to the issue tracker right now. Crash when saving replay with empty name. Prio high. Crash. Thank you for the report. We'll get there. All right, I'm gonna... You know what, I'm gonna leave this fucking music on because it's such a goofy goddamn joke to have here. Talk amongst yourselves, there'll be a moment. I want to see expert player versus hard mode, but you probably don't have that unlocked yet. I don't think I want to use the unlock cheats right now, because there are a couple of things that I think the community is still waiting to find, and I don't want to, like, show them off by mistake. But Hard GP is a fucking mess, dude. I promise you that. Gear 3 is some crackhead nonsense. Finish in second with exactly minus 20 rings. Yeah, I'll take the fast route, thank you very much. Look at him! Tape did, like, almost all of the followers, and it's, like, a completely maddening, insane amount of work to think about. But I think Tape genuinely just likes little critters that much. How far into the board is hard speed? I'd say, like... when you've seen some of the roughest challenges that normal has to offer, that's when we give up hard. I am missing my personal favorite follower right now quite strongly. I am very excited to use a fucking developer file and bring that motherfucker on a walk when it comes to, like, public online play. Hard speed is kind of deep because, like, I think people who are highly invested in the game have an expectation about what Gear 3 is going to be based on their V1 expectations, and they are wrong. I don't, like, mean to be contrarian about this or suggest that people are, like, bad at, like, understanding how the game is built, but that, like, the effects are so far-reaching that it blindsided us. So we definitely, like, wanted to send a pretty clear message that, like, the default state of play is Gear 2, and that that's where we believe the game is best balanced with regards to, like, not just things like stat balance and the way that track design works, but also, like, what an appropriate amount of skill gradient looks like in a lobby, and, like, what that skill gradient should translate to in terms of, like, rewards. Because I think, like... I think I can comfortably speak for a lot of the other gameplay designers when I say that we're not trying to, like, make a sort of game like an arena shooter or like a tough-to-crack fighting game where small differences in ability lead to, like, incalculably large differences in scoreline, where, like, a player who is even a little bit better will always blow you out. And it's apparent from the way that V1 mods are designed that some people want that experience, and they'll have it, I think. I'm excited to, like, prep some of the modding documentation here, and, see what people come up with. And the clear separation between, core games and modded games means that, like, I don't think any of that has to, like, hurt the new player experience without a new player's express intent to jump in the deep end. But, like, one of the most frustrating things as somebody who is deep into a game that has, like, a harsh skill curve and, like, a really compelling set of mechanics is that when you get too into it, you run out of opponents. Anybody who is, like, super into fighting games and wants to get their friends into fighting games has, like, felt that pain in some way before. Where it's like, I fucking forgot all about this. It takes a pretty particular kind of person, I would say. I did it to myself. I'm getting out of there. It takes a pretty particular kind of person to accept the idea that they will never win for the first 50 hours and still, like, discard the feedback that the game is giving them and, like, trust their gut on the way that they're improving and, like, be content with their interactions with the mechanics remaining beautiful and compelling. Not many people are cut out for that, and, like, they shouldn't be. This is fucking entertainment. I think it can be, like, personally rewarding to develop that kind of grit because it allows you to experience some things that otherwise are not really available to you, but, like, it is unreasonable to ask that of people for fucking Mario Kart. And so the challenge becomes, like, how do we make mastery feel worth attaining while not, like, crushing the game in that way? How do we tell expert players that, like, the game values their mastery, that the designers value their mastery, and that seeking mastery is something worth doing for its own enjoyment? If you're not willing to give them that infinite skill gradient. Where friend mod? I want to do something about teams post-release. Sal and I both have some plans for that. Oh, not quite. Oh, that's deeply painful. I'm in a lot of danger. You know, Marble Garden used to be 2 laps. You guys probably do. It's one of the ones we shut off. Alright, I might have to take lap 2 as a loss. I'm gonna play towards the outside. Get that fucking mine out of here. I hope people enjoy the ring box sounds. I had a lot of fun making them. What a dodge. The wild thing about the SPB is that if you evade it for a long time but then get hit, like, towards the end of the race, it actually downgrades its punishment so badly that it just stumbles you, which is the weakest damage type, the type that is inflicted by Insta-Whip. Because, like, we all experienced front-running for 2.5 laps in V1 and then making a mistake on the final turn. We all know what that feels like. Is Grow still a stumble? Yes, and it was one of the... Oh, I gotta stop fucking going for that and just take it straight. I'm being a little bit too cheeky. Can I do it? Should I do it? Alright, we're alive. Maybe I should just zip and take the ring box in the next spiral. I've got a fair lead anyway. Scary? Okay, maybe my lead is less secure than I thought, because I just heard that mine explode behind me. Let's just trap this. Slide down. Oh, what'd I dump? I'm so secure. That's just a ring boot. It's just a ring bonus loss. Yeah, Grow being a stumble was, like, basically the only thing that could be done to it to prevent it from being incredibly fucking annoying, because people just driving into you is kind of transparently, like, the most straightforward kind of disruptive play that there is. And it's difficult for people to interpret that as something that has layers of strategy attached to it. Game automatically paused when your controller disconnects and hot plugs lickety-split. Good video game. I cannot claim credit for the gamepad infrastructure. Eidolon did a lot of work on that, and I'd like to do future work with him for auto-mapping unrecognized controllers, like weird clone Xbox controllers. For now, if you don't know how to use an SDL2 mapping tool, then just, like, launch the game through Steam, and most of that shit should be resolved if you have a really weird controller. But I did do pause on disconnect. That was my feature. So thank you for noticing. It wasn't hard to implement, but it was one of those things that I felt pretty strongly needed to make it in because, like, unfair loss of progress is the #1 cause of session fucking over. Like, everyone has experienced the pain of losing, like, a couple hours of a save file and just not even wanting to ever open the game again. That long shot was not happening. And thank you for, regarding the multiplayer menu music. That was a lot of fun to make. That was one of the first things that I put together for the game. That samples X-Band and Sega Channel commercials, which is, like, the most fucking appropriate sample source. As soon as I had the idea to do some vocal chops with that kind of stuff, I just, like, couldn't put it down. All of my work for Ring Racers was made on this thing, by the way. This fucking monstrosity. This is the project file for Robotnik Coaster. Just in case you were wondering if I could be normal for 1 fucking second, the answer's no. That is the Dirty Wave M8, a handheld synthesizer, sequencer, sampler box thing. And if you're willing to pick up a $30 off-the-shelf microcontroller called the Teensy 4.1, you can load a headless version of the firmware up and try it yourself. That device has 1 meg of RAM. All of my tracks for Ring Racers were done on a device with 1 meg of RAM. I'm just really happy with that I get to, like, bring a little bit of my chip music roots into this game while, like, branching out style-wise. Can you tell that I'm, like, pretty pleased with what we made here? The 3DS Korg synth. That thing is so fucking cool. The overlap between people posting ridiculously overproduced shit on the 3DS Korg and, like, wizard chip musicians is, like, 1 circle. Woo! Okay, the small bananas won't do anything, but, like, hit lag. So I could have waited to deploy there, but I was getting pretty antsy. That'll probably hit someone, but I don't know when. We watched a couple of streamers going through the tutorial in the first couple of cups, and, like, seeing how long it takes for people to click that, like, rings are not actually for, like, going fast. Not as such. They can be, but their principal purpose is to prevent you from going slow, which is a slightly different thing. And when you burn them to go fast, you're actually, like, it's an aggressive move with, like, it's biased towards risk. Some of the best uses of rings are, like, anticipating speed loss from things like, rough track elements or, like, corners that require drifting, and burning resources to keep yourself at speed. And in that way, where it's, like, good execution of a track involves continually chaining, like, fast moves together, rather than trying to, like, put your all into a single burst of speed. It does feel a lot like Riders to me. Curious where the file of VFX on Purple and Rainbow came from. You will have to ask one of the fucking visual people on this game why high-rank drift boosts have bullet casings. Oh, poor fucks. Like, don't get me wrong, rings are absolutely for increasing your speed, and it's, like, it's important that they remain available in that circumstance. Especially versus human opponents, the game of chicken that you play when you're approaching someone trying to stay in tether radius, and, like, testing them for how much they're willing to burn and how quickly to keep you out of, like, an advantageous position. There's a certain kind of intimacy to it that I think is, like, it's one of the earliest dynamics that I identified as, like, super fucking cool about some of the earlier test builds that I was able to play back before I was, like, actively involved in dev, and more just, like, taking a sysop role. Let me really quickly check my messages, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, a couple people finding these fucking things. Ah ha ha ha. There is not yet Mahjong brain rot. I was unable to sell a character artist on fucking putting a Yakuhime into this game because technically it's from a Sega property. The resonance just wasn't there. I did my duty. Get out of my way. None of that. By the way, I don't want to reveal too many of the secrets of how, like, bots drive and make their decisions. I mean, I know all of them, or, like, almost all of them. I didn't, like, personally write bots, but I had a lot of hand in, like, tweaking and tuning them, and, like, refining some of their behavior to be more human-like. But, like, you notice how bots look back at you when they're about to back throw? Sal's a fucking genius. Ah, Rozer found hazard punting. That's fucking funny. I genuinely forgot that people didn't know about hazard punting. Yeah, if you're moving quickly enough, then you'll, like, bash track hazards out of the way. Same if you're using, like, invincibility or grow. Because there were a couple set pieces where it was just not practical to give the player the kind of handling control they needed to, like, correctly traverse a hazard set piece. But more than that, it's not something we wanted to require from a player who was, like, using a catch-up item. Oh, thank you, Hidoro! You're too kind. Oh, not enough. Motherfuck! I forgot I'm way too close. Are you gonna let me get away with it? There's just no way. There's just no way! That's mad funny. I think that would have worked if I wasn't drifting, but because it was, like, uphill and I was taking a speed penalty from holding the drift, I just fucking ripped right back off it. I wonder if we should give Flame Shield Tripwire leniency. I'll talk about it with the team. The snowmen do not still send you to -20 rings. Twill was one of the, like, very first, fucking out-of-ecosystem testers, because Twill, like, physically visited me, and so we could play, like, local builds of ring racers. I'm gonna expose myself and how bad I am at these, like, counter-steering shots. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. There's just no hope. We'll come back to it. Oh, those are all low, yeah, okay. Oh, that's fortunate. Sure, that'll work. I did the final tuning for the par times for these. Oh no. And normal is pretty deliberately lenient. They fucking made contact in midair, you bastards. That notice should go away, but it's not. That's interesting. I wonder what's causing the message ticker to stop responding. What's the plan if you get DMCA'd? Rebrand to Toho. I'm so specifically bad at those shots. I've made a real mean bastard of a stage. I definitely should have taken the outer capsules first and then gone for those. Sega is traditionally very cool about fan works, and that's kind of the only fucking reason that anybody felt safe doing this at all. Like, even if we liked Mario as much as we like Sonic, this never could have been a Mario game. You guys know how it is. I had to stop playing this Motobug character. I'm not feeling this mojo. I think I have spent, like, the least total time in, like, what is it, Class D? Yeah, absolute credit to Sega for, like, chilling out a lot and, like, engaging with fan creations with way better faith and, like, a more permissive, mindset. Still yet to really find a stat block that resonates with me. You gotta chew through the handling model first before you can make decisions like that. I'm gonna be a little bit cagey about this lightning shield even though I could, like, try and get distance. Oh, there he goes. And here's why I was holding that lightning shield. Give me that fucking lightning tether. Infinitether is a fantastic tool to, like, stay in the running without, like, committing a bunch of offensive resources and making yourself vulnerable to attack. This is, like, a really difficult... So, let's talk about the philosophy of counterplay in ring racers. I think that's a pretty clear example, right? Oh shit, I got stumbled on the fucking turbine. That's cruel. Wait, what is Caterkiller doing here again? I fucking ran over a, like, weirdly well-concealed Eudoro for a bot placement and lost the lightning shield. I think Oni has a really clear plan for some visual effects on that down the line. Implementing visual effects in this engine is like a new form of CBT that I was previously unaware of. Don't learn the C programming language. I promise you it's not worth it. That was some interesting momentum inheritance, so no. I hear you. That sound was mine. I implemented that. Alright, this ending is looking like it's gonna get a little chaotic. That delayed target switch was rough. Yeah, I don't know about the rival Sonic bot with 2 stolen items in reserve. One of them was a garden top, and I have never felt closer to death as in that moment. Whew. That was like 50 fracks to the left. Race over. Hey, Isaac. I appreciate it. I expected, like, you have the idea that it's supposed to feel like a weight off your shoulders to get this kind of project out, and really what it feels like is that my emotions were allowed to re-enable. I've been working pretty hard for a while, and I hope it shows. Uh-oh. Okay, let's just do that. It won't get too far ahead, don't worry. I might need to spend some rings to get back in range here, but oh god, that's bad. Alright, I've missed out on some damage opportunities, but it's not dire. Double Jaws capsule out here, just gotta counter steer a bit, and then make sure this shot is lined up clean. I'm sure people have already noticed that Jaws are a little bit more, like, finicky than they are in V1. They're potent in some circumstances, but in others they're, like, deliberately made quite a bit weaker. Oh, I missed the ball hog capsule. I think this can still be done with, like, good bananas. You have multiple language support. It was too difficult. It's a post-release plan, but kind of a pipe dream. Ooh, can I still get it? I think I can. Maybe I should have routed out for those sneakers, but I think the ending's got me. That's my jingle, by the way. Really struggling even on easy right now. Thanks for keeping at it. I know that it's a lot to take in, and it, like, means a lot that you're, like, you're still pushing. A lot of people who had, like, some rougher learning experiences in early testing found that, like, you give it, like, one night of rest and suddenly everything clicks. There's a lot to learn, and it can be overwhelming at first. but it was one of those things that felt hard to compromise on, so I hope you can make it. Yeah! Yeah, no wonder the fucking, like the bots were going crazy at the end. Alright! Credits! I forgot we show that off in Staff Ghosts. Holy fucking hell. Taking the beam cut on hard speed. Gear 3 is like, this is what I mean when I say Gear 3 is a fucking mess, by the way. There are genuinely, like, pieces of the game that were, like, designed to work a certain way that break in Gear 3, and we just accept it. Because Gear 3 is gonna always mechanically be, like, a speed that is more intended for people who have, like, strong opinions about how the role of catch-up should be used in, you know. That's a Gear 3 exclusive strat unless you got hella speed. I think somebody snuck me into the lead programming header, like, while I wasn't looking, at, like, the very last moment before credits locked. Hey, it's Frey! Hi, Frey! Mechanics breaking in favor of enjoyment is the foundation of speedrunning. Absolutely, it was, like, important that that still be there, and there's a reason that Record Attack, that Time Attack, runs on Gear 3. Time Attack is actually even faster than standard Gear 3 play because we kind of force feed you resources. It's a little bit cracked out in a way that I hope is, like, rewarding to the types of people who are gonna be grinding Time Attack. I don't want people to think for a second that I did any part of this alone, even the parts that, like, I get to put my name on. It's been really special working in a group like this for the first time in my life. And, like, holy hell has it not always been easy, but the idea of finally having this out to the world and getting the opportunity to, like... I don't have the proper words, and that's, like, not super common for me, I think. Because there's a lot of interlocking emotions. I think that we've got a lot of exciting work ahead of us. And that the work that's already on display is worth being proud of, I think. Fucking, there's genuinely so much. If I tab out, are you gonna focus Lost to me? You're not! Awesome. Looks like the flat pack is nearly good to go. For real, you can wall transfer that. I really hope that, like, when people get their hands on fucking Time Attack, watch some of the top Staff Ghosts. I know that, like, in particular, I recorded mine to be, like, fun showcases to challenge and, like, to teach people about some routes that they might not otherwise have thought of. Not because I was going for super high times, although I think a lot of my times will be, like, difficult to challenge for a lot of people. But just because it represented a very direct opportunity for me to show the player something that they might not otherwise see. The Jack Frost unlocks non-crash condition. Can you find that after getting him via crash? Yes. Yeah, we already got people posting crazy RPTs. It looks like we're gonna have our work cut out for us for 2.1. Alright. I'm turning that shit up for me. You can go ahead and turn it up for you. I feel a little bit nervous having gameplay specifications and balance have my name so high up, but a lot of it was my work, and I'm proud of it. The game logic programming, not so much. If you, like, Control F the word shit in the codebase, a lot of them are probably me. But, I mean, I did my best to be a good steward. I'm not an adept programmer by any means, but this has been, like, a really meaningful opportunity for me to, like, hone those skills in an environment that kept me motivated. It's an adversarial codebase, to be sure. I cannot stress this enough. Like, don't go to hard code. Don't... You may not want to fuck with this. If you want to create things for yourself, please just install Godot. Please, God, please just install Godot. You worked on Ring Racers? Yep. AJ Tyron Martinez, responsible for a good amount of gameplay design, a good amount of gameplay programming, a good amount of sound and music design, and I don't know, whatever the fuck is going on under the hood with regards to some of the network stuff. I don't even remember doing some of that. I just woke up out of, like, a fucking blackout coma, and we had local camera again. Yeah, you work on Arfizz, right, Gatsy? I took a look at that. That's a neat project. Fucking... I'm gonna be really embarrassed if I'm wrong. Okay. Whew. Yeah, Debug Super Regular Guy is, one of my last big contributions to the game was just running 10 instances in parallel on this PC at max fast forward and, like, trapping and analyzing every crash that I could find. And the result is that, like, it ain't perfect. Obviously, I've heard about a lot of people getting some crashes in particular spots, but, like, the overall gameplay experience, I'd say, has been a lot more resilient than, like, not just launch V1, but, like, current maintenance V1. And because of how often V1 sessions would die due to crashes or sync bombs, that's something that's been a big priority for everyone. Yeah, we've heard plenty of feedback about the tutorial. It's something that we felt pretty strongly about launching as is, but, like, having seen the feedback that comes from, like, the people who are most entrenched in the community, it's one of those things that we want to be looking at pretty quickly. So, like, thanks to everybody who's been, like, measured about this kind of stuff. I understand that, like, it can be rough to see something you've put a lot of your heart into, like, come out and be abrasive to you in a way that you didn't expect, that feels unnecessary or unwarranted. And I get that, and I apologize for it. But, like, a special thanks to people who, like, keep some nuance in mind when talking about things like these. We're all trying to do right by everyone. Hell, fucking thanks to everybody who's given a shot, even if you fucking hate it. Like, it means a lot for people to be spending limited slices of their time on this stuff, and I can only hope that the takeaway is good. Have you ever specifically taken speech classes before? I have not. I'm just extremely autistic. This is a real thing, I promise. All these fucking credits for external sound resources, by the way. Illbleed's in there. It's a mess. Yeah. Big ups to those who came before. This project absolutely stands on the shoulders of Cart V1, and Cart V1 in so many important ways stands on the shoulders of SRP2, our sister project. Eternal gratitude to everybody in both communities who has been keeping this fire lit for longer than I have been here by a factor of, like, 10. Like, it's genuinely terrifying how much of a late arrival I feel like, and so to be able to leave my mark on a community with, like, this kind of legacy feels like a really meaningful opportunity. Gonna need the Illbleed cool on every trick. That's not a half bad idea. I did the current sound effects, and I think they pop pretty nicely, but, like, you could always use a little more, right? So one thing before I turn in for the night, because I think this is a nicely timed showcase and I've had the opportunity to relax a little bit. Number one, of course there's more. I only got 6, after all. But secondly, there's a slight amount of additional game after the first time the credits plays. If you, care to take a look back at the cup screen. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody bounce their heads off this thing. For now, I think I'm gonna take it easy. But, to everybody who's been plugged into release day, holy fuck, this has been crazy. Thank you for staying connected and for, like, giving it your heart and your all. We're listening. We're fucking very tired, but we're listening. And I'm married to this one for the long haul. So let's make it the best we can be. Good night, gamers.